Greetings, everyone. Well, Sonic Week continues today as we take a look at the 3-volume collection from Shout Factory of the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, so last time we took a look at the Shout Factory set of Sonic the Hedgehog, or also known as Sonic Sat AM, because it aired on Saturday mornings. This one aired Monday through Friday. Yeah, so this was a full 65-episode season put straight into daily syndication, which means in 1993, we had Sonic the Hedgehog cartoons 6 days a week. Wow, what a great year to be a Sonic fan. And then the comics were starting around that time too. So you had comics, you had cartoons, you had a third game on the way, and yeah, it was just a great time to be a Sonic fan. So let's get right down to it, shall we? The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog on Sonic Week as we continue to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. So while the Saturday morning show was clearly geared more towards tweens and teens, this one was geared more towards a younger audience. It featured simpler storylines, more kind of slapsticky, goofy humor and such, but, still tons of fun. All the familiar characters are there. A lot of the same characters from the Saturday morning show were there as well. But again, much lighter storylines. Now, I mentioned the comics. The comics originally took their inspiration primarily from this, where they had it kind of tonally similar to the Adventures show. So, very light, fun stories, a lot of goofy, slapsticky humor and stuff like that. But after the first dozen or so issues, it took its cues more from the Saturday morning show, which turned out to be a really good way to go because it ended up being the longest-running comic book based on a video game in history. It's actually in the Guinness Book of World Records as the longest-running comic book based on a video game. Pretty cool. And I can't help but think that if they had continued in this direction with it, it wouldn't have lasted that long. I think what really kept it going was the fact that they introduced more in-depth storylines and deeper storylines and continuity and long drawn-out story arcs and such to keep the kids coming back every month for each issue. But in the early days, it was very much like a comic book version of this. Now, these sets are, of course, long out of print now, but I thought it would be great to do a video about them because I've never talked about them before, I've never shown them before, and it's kind of a cool set. So Shout Factory put them out as 3 volumes. These 2 were available in stores. This one was only available through directly ordering from their website. They had this service that they called Shout Select for a very short period of time, where basically they would sell titles directly to the public through their website, and that's the only way you could get them. There was a handful of Amazon sellers that were authorized to sell them, but for the most part you could only get them through the website. So I got these from a viewer, actually from Frank of the It's Frank YouTube channel. He sent me all 3 of these, bless his heart, because I definitely wouldn't have been able to get them otherwise, because at the time I don't think I had a credit card, so I couldn't order from the website, so it just wasn't an option for me at the time. Now, of course, I can order from anywhere, it wouldn't matter, but back then, things were a little different, different kind of life situation. But so I really appreciated him grabbing these for me. It was great to finally have the rest of the 90s Sonic cartoons. This one in particular, because this one was, really rare. A lot of the Shout Select titles had very low print runs, and many of the ones that they offered through that service are no longer available. Like, good luck finding them now. They're just gone. That said, not all hope is lost. If you're just looking to get the show, NCircle Entertainment has since re-released all 65 episodes of the show, and we'll cover the re-releases when we go down to the black table. Speaking of which, why don't we go down to the black table and we'll take a closer look at Shout Factory's set of The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, as well as the NCircle Entertainment re-release, which is probably a little easier for you to get your hands on. Let's check them out. Okay, here we go with the first volume of the weekday series of Sonic the Hedgehog, The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. So, yeah, in 1993, we basically had Sonic the Hedgehog cartoons on 6 days a week. So this series was, of course, on Monday through Friday, and then on Saturdays we had Sonic the Hedgehog. It was just called Sonic the Hedgehog, which fans have since dubbed Sonic Sat AM because it was on Saturday mornings. But great stuff. So while Sonic Sat AM was a more serious, darker-toned, action-adventure series about, the freedom fighters fighting the evil forces of Robotnik and whatnot, this one was a much more lighthearted series aimed at younger viewers, more kind of slapstick humor and stuff like that. Once again, features Jaleel White as the voice of Sonic, of course, and much the same cast is in it that was in the other series, but tonally it's very different. It's much more lighter and more fun and stuff like that. So anyway, Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, a very fun series, ran for 65 episodes, running Monday through Friday all through 1993, the 93-94 season. So yeah, good stuff. So Shout Factory put out all 65 episodes across 3 volumes, structured very similar to the Sonic Sat AM series. No fan art this time. It's just fairly standard artwork. Once again, we have a slip case or a slip box, and here we go. So this set contains the first 21 episodes. Very nice. Spread across 4 discs. There we go. So only 5 or 6 episodes per disc, so nice high bit rate throughout. Very nice quality. And there we go. Just spin that around there. And there we go. Just very, very nice disc art there. I'll just slide this out so you can get a slightly better look. There we go. There's the guy himself. Very nice. So I think some fans were mildly annoyed that Shout Factory didn't just put out a complete series set in one fell swoop. Instead, they kind of milked it across 3 sets. But, at least we got them all. That's the main thing, right? So, there we go. Now, as always with these sets, they are long out of print. So, good luck finding them. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. There were some re-releases later from NCircle. So, we'll talk about those in a little bit here. So, just spin that around there. There we go. Very nice, colorful disc art there. I like that. And different artwork on the interior of each case, each slim case there. There we go. Very nice. Yeah, Shout Factory did a really beautiful job with all of these, all the Sonic sets they put out. They definitely made them a treat for fans, not only making sure that all the episodes are spread across a sufficient number of discs that they would be able to maintain a nice high bit rate, but also putting some extras on there as well. So this one has a couple of bonus features. We've got a conversation with artist Milton Knight and how to draw Sonic the Hedgehog. So there you go. Yeah, as you can see, kind of geared towards a younger audience. So then they put out Volume 2 a little while later. And once again, very nice. Nice slip box and 2 slim cases with the discs. 2 discs per slim case. This one has 22 episodes total. So this is discs 1 and 2. Let's take a look there. There we go. And a little more colorful interior art this time. Let's take a look at that here. Oh yeah, look at that. Nice group pick of all the main characters. Very cool. Yeah, this one you'll probably notice is a little more stylized than Sonic Sat AM as well. If you see the pilot episode for Sonic Sat AM, which was called Heads or Tails, you'll notice that the models, the character models, are a little more like the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog models, a little more cartoony, a little more exaggerated. And then they settled on a slightly more realistic style for the rest of the series. With Adventures, they kept that sort of more cartoony style just because it fit in with the slapsticky humor and whatnot. So, it's a fun show. I mean, it's silly and goofy, and, you know, a lot of the humor is very groan-inducing, but whatever. I mean, it is what it is, right? I mean, they wanted to cover all their bases, so they had this show for the youngins, and then they had the weekend show for the, 10 and ups or whatever. And I think this is actually the same. Yeah, I think this is the exact same artwork. So, okay. Getting a little bit lazy there, Shout Factory. But, yeah, speaking of laziness, I'll show you something in just a moment here when we get through all the different sets. But, so this does have some bonus features on it as well. One bonus feature. How to draw Dr. Robotnik. There you go. Okay, very good. So, just put this back in there, and that is volume 2. So then I guess it didn't quite sell well enough to warrant putting out the third volume in stores. So at the time, Shout Factory had this direct ordering thing you could do, which they called Shout Select. Now, if that sounds familiar, it's because now they use the name Shout Select for their deluxe Blu-ray releases of various studio catalog titles that they get the licenses to. But originally, Shout Select was what they called their direct ordering thing that they had going. So you could only order certain titles through their website. They weren't available in stores, so you could only order direct from them. And Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog 3 was one of those titles. So this was actually gifted to me by It's Frank, by Frank of the It's Frank YouTube channel. Really nice guy. He's sent me a lot of really cool rarities over the years, and this was one of them. He got this for me, and I'm always going to be grateful for that, because I probably would have missed out on this otherwise, because at the time I didn't really have the means to order much stuff online outside of eBay. So that was that. So this one, we have our one bonus feature of how to draw Tails. So there you go. You get our 3 main characters there. So this is the final 22 episodes. Definitely skimping on the disc art here, or on the package art. Well, packaging in general. So we have all the contents listed on the inside, which we'll look at in just a moment. We do have some pretty nice disc art, though. We at least do have different characters on the disc art. And it is a 4-disc set, just like the other 2 sets. And the important thing is, it meant that we got the entire 65-episode run. We'll just slide this out. And that is very nice. So, contents of the last 4 discs there. And that's it. So that's the entire series of the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, I wanted to mention something that I noticed when I was putting together kind of some of my materials for this earlier. So here's Volume 3. And Volume 2, and Volume 1. Now, if you may notice, look at Sonic. That's the exact same picture and the exact same pose of Sonic on every cover. And look at Tails. It's the exact same picture and exact same pose of Tails. Oh, and look at Robotnik. Exact same picture, exact same pose. Yeah, they just copied and pasted and did different backgrounds for the colors. Oh, resized Tails a little bit here. They'll never notice. Yeah, so that was something I thought was... It both amused and annoyed me. I'm like, come on, really, Shout Factory? Like, after all the effort you put into the Sonic Sat AM set, you just kind of take the lazy way out for Adventures. Like, come on. Anyway, so for those of you who missed out on these Shout Factory sets, these 2 you can still find out there sometimes. This one, good luck. The Shout Select stuff, a lot of it has never been re-released. It just disappeared when they discontinued that service. There's a few incomplete sets I have where sadly the final volume was only available through that. So, yeah. Anyway, if you missed out on these, all hope is not lost, because, once again, NCircle to the rescue. Because, oh look, it's just the complete series of the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, so the NCircle didn't mess around. They just put all 65 episodes in one set. Boom, you're done. You've got it all. Finito. No extras on this set. All NCircle stuff is bare bones. But at least you can get all 65 episodes relatively painlessly. Definitely not as painfully as the Sonic Sat AM releases they did, where they just put haphazard episodes across 6 individual disc volumes. And good luck watching them in the right order, because they're all over the place order-wise. Yeah, so this one just gives you all 65 episodes in one fell swoop. Very, very nice. There were quite a few single disc releases of, 4 or 5 episodes a disc as well. We won't bother going through all those. You can, if you're a completist and want absolutely everything, just cruise around Amazon. There's so many volumes of, just individual discs of episodes. But if you just want the show and save some shelf space, get this set. It's a lot cheaper than tracking down the Shout Factory ones, and chances are you wouldn't be able to find Volume 3 now anyway. It's as rare as the friggin' Holy Grail. But, yeah, so there you go. Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. And there you go. So that is the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Very light, fun, and silly. And, hey, you can't go wrong. I should mention also, features the voice of Jaleel White as Sonic. He also did the voice of Sonic in the Saturday morning show and later in Sonic Underground. Jaleel White, if the name is familiar, was most well known at the time as the character of Urkel, Stephen Urkel in Family Matters. Yeah, so Urkel as Sonic the Hedgehog. And I gotta say, perfect casting. He was fantastic as Sonic. He had the right kind of sort of sassy, smart alecky attitude, and it just really worked. It just worked really, really well for the character. So yeah, he was the voice of Sonic through all of the 90s cartoons, and yeah, great stuff. Way to go, Urkel. So that's it for this time. Be sure to tune in next time as we take a look at my Sonic Underground sets, also from Shout Factory, and rest assured, also re-released by NCircle. So if you missed the Shout Factory ones, you do have other options. Speaking of which, if you'd like to add any of these or the NCircle re-releases to your collection, I will, of course, include Amazon links in the description below. Big thanks to those of you who use my Amazon links, because that does support the show pretty directly. I do get a little kickback when you use my links, and it doesn't cost you any more. So I really appreciate the support, guys. It allows me to buy more stuff that I can do videos about for you. So thank you to those of you who use my Amazon links. I really appreciate that. Alrighty, well, that is it from me to you for now. So big thanks to you for watching. Big thanks to my Patreon sponsors. Be sure to catch me on Twitch. I stream just about every day, and I will see you next time. Until then, sayonara.